Healing Words Project is more than an artistic initiative. It is a space where stories are not only told but protected, where voices that have been silenced, displaced, or overlooked are given a place to breathe, to be heard, and to transform pain into creation. Kate understands something powerful, that words can heal, but they can also build bridges between people who might otherwise never meet. Through this project, artists, writers, and storytellers from Palestine, Sudan, Iran, refugee communities, and indigenous communities have been invited to transform their lived experiences into art. Art that speaks not only of suffering, but of resilience, dignity, and hope. When a culture is threatened, what is often targeted first is its story, the narrative. But art refuses disappearance. It preserves language, rhythm, movement, and memory. It reminds the world that people exist and that their humanity cannot be erased. It is also an honor for me to introduce an artist, Kate Van Doren, whose vision reminds us of something essential, that art is not simply beauty and not simply expression. It is courage. The Healing Words Project plants something deeply necessary in our world today. It plants humanity. And when humanity is planted with care, it grows in communities, in movements, and in the hearts of those who choose to listen. And I really want to thank you, Katie, for creating that space, a space that where reflection becomes healing and where stories can be shared with honesty and dignity. And for that, I will always be grateful. Because in a world that so often tries to silence pain, projects like this remind us that words can still heal, art can still connect us, and humanity can still prevail.
This artwork has never belonged just to me. It belongs to the people who trusted me enough to stand in front of the camera and speak their truth. I originally offered photography as a form of art-based activism. Women wrote words on their bodies as acts of visibility, solidarity, and resistance. The photographs became conversations. Conversations became stories. Stories became healing. At the heart of the project, it is an invitation. What truth is being asked? What truth is asking for a voice? What language is guiding the path forward? And what are your healing words? This exhibition is a retrospective, but it is also a living archive. Each piece here connects to the voice of the person in it. Their words, their stories, their truth, accessible through the QR codes you see besides the work. You are not only looking at portraits, you are meeting individual human souls. The most profound thing I have learned in this, healing is rarely solitary. When one person speaks honestly, others recognize that in themselves. The courage of one becomes permission for many. This project exists to amplify voices that have been silenced or misrepresented. But also, it is to remind us that every person carries a story worth witnessing, including your very own. What truth is waiting to be spoken for yourself? What would change if it were witnessed? Because this work has shown me again and again, when one voice heals, it echoes.